Well, first things first, they kind of waived somebody first to make room for them. Not only for Jordan Goodwin, which I think we can all agree likely will be Cam Reddish. Simply put, has not been part of the rotation, and even with about half the rotation, more than that out against their game the other night in Milwaukee, he barely played and did not play well to begin with. So he's pretty much guaranteed to be waived. After that though, really up in the air. Maybe they'd waive a guy like Alex Len, would kind of be a bad look, I've talked about this, signing a guy off the buyout market, only to eventually waive him after the playoff eligibility deadline, which happened to be on March 1st. That might be a bad look for them and probably something they don't want to do, and especially for a guy that wouldn't be a huge upgrade over him. Or then maybe for a guy like Markieff Morris. A lot of people tend to bring that up as he's not a part of the rotation, but if you actually look deeper into it and why they ended up trading for him or as part of the Luka Doncic trade, might not have been simply a throw-in player for them. According to a report, and actually according to Marcus Morris, Markieff Morris's brother, he shared that Markieff was actually contemplating retirement after he heard that he was about to be traded, but then had a change of heart after he realized it was to the Lakers, stating that LeBron himself asked for Markieff Morris to come to their team. And if you watch him on the bench, those two have definitely been getting along. Another report said that Markieff actually has a voice in their locker room, a guy that LeBron himself respects and is a good veteran leader for their team. So with that in mind here, and with it very likely being true as well, I tend to believe that, I don't think they'll waive him. And well, if they're not waiving Markieff Morris, already waiving Cam Reddish, and probably not waiving Alex Len, who would even be left for them at that point? Well, their final option left that would make even a little bit of sense would be Shake Milton. Yes, he does happen to be under a 3-year contract, but it's not a standard guaranteed contract. It is a 3-year contract, but every year after this one does happen to be completely non-guaranteed, which would let them waive him without accruing any dead money with it. Now, I'm not saying it would be a good option for them though. Shake Milton's not a terrible player, can give them some value and has proven to do that in some games. And then in addition to that, with the new CBA and the trade rules that come with it, having a 3-year contract that's pretty much an expiring contract every year can be a valuable trade asset. Not extremely valuable or anything like that, but it can be a good throw-in chip that any team would take on without it being negative to them, and then could simply waive thereafter. And with that in mind here, I don't find it very likely that they waive Shake Milton. Probably 50-50 at best for Alex Len, probably even less than that for Markieff Morris and Shake Milton, and the only near guarantee or lock to be waived is Cam Reddish for Jordan Goodwin. So if either Christian Koloko or Trey Jemison want to disprove that or change that, then they gotta play a whole lot better from here on out. Don't get me wrong, both have shown promise and do certain things on the court well, and I like the fact that they're very different, therefore making them valuable in different matchups and offer something different on the court. Koloko being more of that lob threat, rim runner type that does fit pretty well offensively with Luka Doncic, but he's also very young and does tend to make mistakes, fouls too much on defense, does tend to get a bit too rushed on offense, and does find the right pass or always isn't in the right spot on the court, both offensively and defensively for that fact. And then with Trey Jemison, like the fact that he's a physical bruising big around the rim, a pretty good rebounder, a good screen setter, but then he's not a great lob threat, a terrible free throw shooter, has a pretty poor touch around the rim, and simply not a perfect fit for them, neither offensively or defensively. So while I definitely would like to have a better backup center, that does happen to be playoff eligible, which by the way is the reason for elevating a 2-way contract, making them playoff eligible, which they are not on a 2-way contract. I'm not sure I'd pick either Trey Jemison or Christian Koloko, and definitely not make it a requirement to do that with what they have shown up until this point. Again, don't love Alex Len being my backup center, but with neither Koloko nor Trey Jemison really proving it, I definitely would wait up until the final moment to convert them, or maybe take a look at a different player, which I've talked about in many videos before this one, so you can check those out if you want to.